everyone, and welcome to the Something Corny studio again. In this video I'm going to talk to you a little bit about spiral plaits, in particular the 5-straw spiral plait. And in theory you can really use any amount of straws for spiraling from 4 upwards. But when I'm teaching I usually start off with this 5-straw spiral. I find it the most successful. I use spiral plaits all the time in my work. It gives me a lot of freedom. I can change the shape of a piece quite easily by increasing or decreasing the spiral. And I'll talk to you about that in a little while. But for this project, what I've done is I've dampened my straws, and I'm going to use 5 straws for the spiral. But I also have some extra straws for the core, and we are also going to look at joining in new straws. So I would say if you want to start this plait, maybe soak about 25 to 30 of the straws to make sure that you have plenty. Okay, let's have a go and have a look at the plait to see how we get on. Okay, let's start off with having a look at the piece that we're aiming for. This is a finished 5-straw spiral plait, and this one has been plaited around a core. So let's look at the core first of all. Now, I've made up a short core just for the demonstration today, and what I've used is straws that maybe had been, for example, broken. Maybe discoloured. This one is a little bit marked. Maybe something that you've cut off another project. So always keep your little bits and pieces, because you just never know when they'll come in useful. So I've used 5 straws for this core. You can vary the amount of straws in the core. Obviously the more straws you have, the wider the plait is going to be. But for today I've used 5 straws. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and tied up the 5 straws in a little bundle. And because I would like the core to be equal in width all the way down, what I've done is I've taken 3 of the straws with the narrow ends at this end and 2 of the straws with the narrow ends at this end. So I've just swapped them over, and that just evens it up a little bit. And the other thing I've done is I've tied it in 3 places. So I've tied it here in the centre, then I've tied it 2 centimetres from either end, and that'll just hold the core neatly together. And then we need our 5 working straws. So again, make sure that you've prepared these straws. They're damp, ready to work, and they should be fairly well matched as well. And we're going to take the core, take my 5 straws, and I'm going to lie the core on top of the straws and then roll round a couple from the side, just so that the 5 straws go around the core. I'll take a piece of thread and make a clove hitch to tie the 5 straws onto the core. Now, I don't want to see the tie on the core here, so I'm going just slightly above it. So maybe just come down about 1 centimetre or so from the end. Okay, when I get to this point, make sure that I'm happy with how the straws are sitting, and then I actually tuck the straws under my arm so that I've got 2 hands to pull. And finish off the knot, and always trim your threads. Some people don't like to trim the threads because they think they can use it later on. It gets in your way, it gets tangled in your plaits, and you get a much neater job if you trim off the threads before you start work. Okay, so we're going to splay the straws out to a 90-degree angle from the core. And you can see the core is going to stay straight up because we're actually going to work our way around the core. Now I've splayed the straws out so that I've got 2 straws at 3 o'clock, 1 at 6, 1 at 9 and 1 at 12. Now what we're going to do for this plait, it's really quite a straightforward plait, is the bottom straw from the 3 o'clock, so that's this one, is going to come forward towards me. Then I'm pushing it away and it's going to lie to the left hand side of 12. And then I'm going to turn my work so that I'm back to the beginning again. So I'm going to do the same thing again, bring the lower straw. So this is actually the straw that wasn't used that last time. This one here is loose. That's the one that has just moved. So it's the other one, the underneath one, bring it towards you and then fold it away over the top to sit at the left hand side of 12 and turn. Bottom straw over to the left of 12 and turn. Bottom straw over to the left of 12 and turn. Now that's me done 4 moves, and what that's done is given me a little square around the core. So if I have 5 straws in a plait, then the spiral will form in a square shape. If, for example, you have 7 straws in the spiral plait, you'll be looking for a hexagon around your core. Okay, so today we're looking for a square. And we're going to keep building on that square, but just repeating the exact same move all the time. Working my way around. And as I'm coming across, I'm keeping the straw here, if you have a look, quite close into the core. Okay, no gaps in there at all. And that means that you will keep straight up the core. Be careful you don't drift away with your plaiting. So we work our way around, same thing over and over again, but we get into a rhythm. Can you see how it's quite easy just to keep going? You actually don't really, once you start practicing this, you don't really have to look at this plait. You can just feel how you want it to be. Now, as I'm plaiting, have a look at the way my hands are working. So both hands are working for me. So what I'm doing is I'm using my first finger of my right hand to help me move this lower straw into position. So I can feel it underneath. I know this is the straw I want. I bring it down towards the 6 o'clock position just to give me a better fold here in the corner there. Now I move on to using my thumb to move the straw across. But then my finger comes into play again, coming up behind the 2 straws. That then allows me to let go with my left hand so that I can start turning my work, reposition my left hand, and then off I go again. So if you can try and get your hands in the correct positions, you'll find it's much easier to plait. And if we just keep going around a little bit, you'll see how we can get into that rhythm. And your hands are not moving very far at all. What my left thumb is doing, so if I move this over and I'll show you. If I lift this up, my left thumb is just resting on this corner here. And that's to stop this loose straw pinging up and coming out of place. But my left thumb is not pushing down. I've got no force on that corner whatsoever. I'm holding it very lightly, only enough to keep that straw in place. If you push down too hard with your thumb, it's a bit like compressing a spring, and it'll take you twice as long to cover the distance with your plait, but also it won't look nearly so nice. So allow the plait to grow up the core. So if I come round, so I'm there, and as long as I've got these 2 straws in my finger and my thumb there, I can let go quite comfortably because nothing else is going to come apart. And then pop it onto the corner, which allows me then to let go with my right hand. And again, my thumb is controlling the straws, so nothing's going to come undone. So you don't need to panic about losing control or hanging on for dear life. Just relax, into the plait, get into the rhythm, and off you go. Now, when I chose my straws to start with, I chose them all at different lengths, and that was for a really good reason. If you want to join straws on this plait, it's a good idea not to join them all at the same time. So if you start off with a variety of lengths of straw, then that's a good way of reminding you to join gradually rather than all on the same round. If you join all on the same round, you'll find that you weaken your plait at that point. So as I've been going around, I've been watching my straws, and this one is getting to the stage where it really does need to be joined. Don't wait until you get to the end before you join. The straw's starting to get much thicker in this portion, and it also is there's a possibility that it would crack with you as well. So join earlier rather than later. This doesn't need to be waste. I mean, this straw could be used for making another core. It could be used in straw marquetry, all sorts of different things. So hang on to all these little pieces. So to join the straw, first of all, I'll bring in a pair of scissors. Always have your scissors to hand. And also I'll bring in a bundle of straws that I'll use for joining. So, like I say, I've decided that this is the straw that's got to be joined. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to join it after it's done its work. So bring it towards me, push it away from me, and round. Okay, so that the short straw is now sitting on top and it's round at the 3 o'clock position. And then we're going to cut that short straw right on the corner, just there. We don't want it too far in. We don't want to come in here. We certainly don't want to be too far out. Just right on the corner. If you're too far out, when you insert the new straw into it, it's going to be very difficult to make a neat bend at that corner. And the chances are that this old straw will actually split with you. If you come too far in, there's not enough to anchor it. You need this next straw coming across the top to hold this one in position. So right on the corner is ideal. So it's going to be covered, your join is going to be covered, and it's going to be supported. So let's go ahead and snip. And then I go into the bundle of straws that I've brought here, and I'll take this one out, let you see. I'm going to cut it at an angle, so that if I let you have a look here, can you see how I've cut the straw at a point? And that just makes it easier to insert that point inside the old straw. So I'm going to pop it in, give it a little twist. Don't push too hard, just give it a little twist to encourage it to go in. And I can feel that it's gone right into that corner. I'm then going to lift the straw a little bit and give another extra little twist. And that takes the point right down and round that corner. And it almost acts like a little hook. It'll hold on better to the straw. And then the next move is going to be this straw, the bottom straw, and it's going to come over the top. And it's going to cover your join. So it supports the join, but it also covers it as well. And then off we go to continue with the plaiting. I'll show you one more join, and this is, you can see the straw coming round. Here it is. Look, there's a short straw. So I've given myself a good couple of rounds at least before I join the next straw. So I'm going to do the same again, trim it at the corner. Now, as long as your left thumb is sitting here in position, this short piece of straw is not going to come out of place. That thumb is controlling the short piece. So again, I'll go into the bundle and I'll find a straw that's going to fit. So again, I've cut the point, fit the straw inside, little twist round the corner. And I actually think that straw is a little bit on the loose side. So I'm going to take that straw out and I'm actually going to use slightly thicker straw. I'll take this one instead. So be aware, if your straw is too thick when you insert it, it's going to split the old straw. If it's too fine, it's going to weaken it again at that point and it'll come out. So just pop it in, lift it up. That's better. And off we go again. Carrying on, round with the plait, getting back into that rhythm again. So let's have a quick look at how the plait is looking. And what I would do is I would continue plaiting and joining in this manner right up the length of the core, just going slightly over this tie. When I want to finish the plait, I'm going to tie it up here in this position. So all I would do is I would take the 5 straws together, bring them back into the bunch, and then just take my thread and tie close into the plait. So let's just have a final look at the finished piece, and you can see where I've taken the heads off and I've trimmed off the tails, and I've got my length of plait that you can then go and shape it as you want, use it in whatever project you would like. Well, I hope you found that useful. We will go on and explore the spiral plaits in some future videos where we'll try maybe with some 7 straws, and we'll also try without the core to let you see how easy it is really to increase and decrease your work. Till then, thanks for watching.